is a public service announcement brought to you by your friends at Degeneration X.
Break it down!
Hey YouTubers, Degeneration HanX here, and welcome to another rant. And I might be stirring the pot a little bit here with this particular rant. And mostly a little bit involving a current event of the past week, but it's basically an ongoing issue here. And basically what I'm referring to is the hypocrisy of the feminazis, basically trying, getting on men's cases for supposedly objectifying women, while they themselves do the same thing when it comes to viewing the men. And it's just a lot of stupid things out there involving this, and and basically this is probably going to be one of the only few times I'm actually going to speak on the side of Barack Obama, because what kind of brought this up this past week is that Barack Obama was giving a speech, and he was talking about this female district attorney, and I believe it was in California, who happens to be a good friend of his. And he happened to compliment her looks in there, and it basically stirred up a hornet's nest of all these, liberal female commentators who, jumped on his case for, complimenting her looks instead of her achievements and her achievements and stuff. It's interesting too that it seems like that's the first thing. That's the first thing that I've noticed in a long time when it comes to the mainstream media, that Obama has been attacked by people on his own side for something that one of his predecessors, who of course is Bill Clinton, was notorious of doing, and he basically got away with it when it came to the media and all that. And of course, even worse so, all in purposes, Barack Obama did not sexually harass women. He didn't carry affairs with women, as far as we know. But it appears that Bill Clinton got away with it. Now, of course, if Bill Clinton went and gave a compliment of a woman's physical appearance, he probably would have gotten away with it if this was during his administration. And of course, obviously, if it was the Republicans, they really would have lambasted him. This is basically one of the major things wrong with the feminazis out there. Now, I'm not talking about feminists. I'm talking about the extreme women that want to dominate men, turn them into sissies. They probably cheer on the bronies here when it comes to basically to emasculate men and keep them from being just men, just naturally men. It's just, but in the meantime, they will drool and compliment the appearance of male celebrities and male newsmakers out there for their appearance. Like Justin Bieber or it's perfect. Justin Bieber or George Clooney or anything, or anybody else. Who just throw out there. These are the same women who will go to that will attack men for watching movies like American Pie or Porky's or anything like that, but then they'll go and turn around and watch like that male stripper movie that came out last year with Channing Tatum in it. Then they'll go gaga over an attractive man, or what they deem as an attractive man. What as far as what straight American men do when it comes to women going gaga over what women think are attractive men? Well, the worst they could do is they call the guy gay, and usually several portions of the time it's true. I don't know, but it's just sickeningly ridiculous, and it's hypocritical that it's okay for women to objectify men. But when it's men, no, they can't do that. No, that's wrong. It's barbaric. It's perverted. It's sick. No, because, listen, I don't know what your mindset is, but, I mean, a considerable portion of the human race are not telepathic. We're not mind readers here. We are not, in the sense of reading people's minds and know what they're thinking. And, you know, everybody, basically whenever somebody sees another person for the first time or meets somebody for the first time, we're always going, you know, that's the first level of judging is physical appearance. We're never going to get away with that. And these dingies thing, and you got to think about it here. When it comes to, you know, the extreme feminists and women who cry sexism and everything, you got to take a really look at these broads that are doing it too. They're ugly broads. They can never get a real date. They could never get the guys that they really want to be with. I mean, they got to date. If they do date a guy, he's got poor taste in women, and not just physical, but you know, attitude. And they think, and these women are totally unattractive, physically, mentally, attitudinally. And these are most of the women that complain about the so-called objectifying of women out there. You watch this. You watch the extreme feminists out there, and that is why the current, you know, that's why sexual harassment has gone berserk. I mean, I can perfectly understand getting on a man for real sexual harassment, and I'm talking about actually demeaning a woman for the purpose of demeaning her, either to draw sexual favors, and then make, you know, have her give you sexual favors to move her up in a job place. You know, or, you know, actually saying something derogatory to her. But when you're in a conversation, a woman walks in, and there's, for one thing, what does that busybody got to do? You know, you didn't invite her into the conversation in the first place. You know, you're talking about something, and she gets offended. Why? One thing, you're not talking about her. You're not talking to her. You know, she walks in and noses herself into the conversation here, and yeah, I can understand decorations that supposedly, you know, posters and stuff that so-called demean women and stuff like that, because in the office place, that's not really a thing to do. But you know, it's just that it's not only that they're not attracted, they're uptight. They are so fucking uptight when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex. They gotta tack him to the point of having these people either having their careers ruined or having them even taken to the point of putting him in jail. But it's also, you also know it's kind of selective. It's also selective. You notice the guys like Bill Clinton got away with it when it came to, I mean, look at all the accusations that he's had by women during his presidency, even before his presidency, even before he was even in the election. Rumors and all about, you know, women coming out of the woodwork saying that he, approached them and sexually harassed them and stuff. He got away with it. And I think in the sense that, women are very picky when it comes to sexual harassment is only there when it comes to a man that they do not find physically attractive, positionally attractive, in the sense of that the guy could help them move up in here. If she can't, you know, and also financially attractive. That most of these women come, you know, they won't go to have anything to do with a guy, and they're gonna, you know, They have to be physically attractive. They got to be at a high level of power, and they have to have money. And most of the time, these are the kind of guys that get away with so-called sexual harassment, or even worse, the actual sexual harassment, and of course also other demeaning things. If you're an average Joe guy who don't look like their latest pretty boy of the moment or anything, your ass is grass as far as they're concerned. And another thing, why is it when it comes to these these red carpet shows or anything like that, that these shows are always hosted and narrated by women and gay guys? I'm serious, I like to see a show, one of these kind of shows, hosted by nothing but straight guys, and maybe some lesbians, real lesbians, not these lipstick lesbians who are just closet case bisexual women. They're rating these women come off the track. For one thing, it'd be more entertaining. It wouldn't be like this little belittling, and because these guys would really say what they're thinking when it comes to these attractive women. They say, "Oh, look at that chick," It'd probably be funny as hell. It'd be fucking entertaining as hell, and all. It's. I would rather see that than a bunch of snooty, stuck-up hags and their gay friends making their comments about how good-looking a woman is, because that's not their job. They're not supposed to be, observing what a woman, a straight single woman looks like. That's not the only people that should be doing it are straight men. I don't know. It's the hypocrisy that really gets to me, that one group can do it while another group can't. And of course, one of their major excuses is that, men have been doing this for years and years and years or so. Shouldn't you be the better person, in this whole situation and not make yourself look like hypocrites? I mean, either both sides don't do it, or both sides do it. It doesn't make any damn difference. And I really don't know. It's just a long struggle when it comes to, it seems like the women that attack men for doing it are just as guilty as doing it themselves, and even worse, because it's hypocrisy. Don't attack one group for doing something that you're liable to go do yourself. Just because it's a get evenism type situation. And I don't know. I just prefer, and it's also, it's kind of also when it comes to, going back to, most of the times these ugly women complain about sexism, they're not only just ugly, they're fucking lazy. They're lazy to try to make themselves look better, to make themselves more attractive, and all. And of course, their major excuse is, well, when it comes to, being attracted, that was created by men. And it's like, well, you gotta think about it. When it comes to most of these, these so-called sociable diseases like bulimia and anorexia, these are not girls that look at themselves in Playboy or Penthouse or men's magazines and try to emulate them by trying to lose weight drastic ways. No, they're looking at women's magazines. And they're showing how women look and stuff. These are women's magazines made for women, most of the time ran by women, published by women, and telling them, oh, this is how you live, this is a da-da-da-da. And, of course, the runway's got these super skinny bitches and everything, and they're, mostly either run by women or gay men. They're the ones who are pulling the strings when it comes to, what women should look like and all this kind of stuff. And it also kind of throws me, Tyra Banks. Remember her? She used to have a talk show, and all she did was trying to say to everybody, "Oh, everybody's beautiful. Everybody's you shouldn't worry about how you look and everything." And of course, then she's on America's Top Model as one of the judges and the host of the show, and who they're trying to pick out. A certain type of girl who is super skinny most of the time, don't have any breasts. But that's why they got mostly gay men hosted as the judges there, because they want girls that look like boys and all that kind of stuff. And they don't have. When do you ever see a straight man on these kind of shows? For one thing, men don't go for these runway model things. Straight men don't usually go for these runway model types. They usually go for the chicks you see on Sports Illustrated and Playboy and everything. That's realistic. That's a little bit more realistic than the bullshit that the so-called modeling industry, the mainstream modeling industry is trying to foist on everybody, which is just as bad as what they accuse straight men to be doing. But I don't know. It's just hypocrisy at its worst levels. And if women don't want that put upon them, don't do it against men, and and maybe things would be a little better. I don't know. It's just annoying, but that's just my say on when it comes to the battle of the sexes. When it comes to one sex objectifying the other, and the hypocrisy of the feminists and the feminazis. When they complain about it, but then turn around and do it towards men, and just other examples of the bullshit. And this is Degeneration HanX, and stay tuned here for more rants, commentaries, and whatnot here on the Weirdo Network. See ya.
Well, I guess if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it!
I am an idiot.